All right, so I just did a review of this pair of sneakers right here, the secret technology from Nike that nobody's heard of. This is the Nike Renew technology. However, this is the old version of Nike Renew because recently I just searched Nike Renew again on their website, and all of a sudden there's this new product launch that they have with this new quote-unquote Renew technology. So this is actually a different version of Renew than this, but the crazy thing about this, because a lot of people were commenting in this video here, they said that basically Renew is recycled Lunarlon, and I was like, wait a minute, I need to investigate this more. So I have some Lunarlon here, I have the new Renew, I have the old Renew, and then I have Nike React, and I'm going to compare all four of these technologies in this video and let you guys know what is similar, what is different between all of these different brands and rebrands and whatever else we want to call these. But let's go ahead and get into the video. What is going on, guys? Hess here, CollectiveKicks.com. If you guys would like to shop this week's top sneaker deals that I curate for you guys, check the link in the description. As well as if you guys want to see any of the other videos that I post, it's always on CollectiveKicks.com for the last couple weeks or so. This is a really interesting and confusing video for me because this is the new technology right here that they have called Nike Renew. But as I mentioned in the intro of the video, this is literally a different shoe technology than what we have on this shoe here. I'm going to look at the tags first of all on this to see when this one was produced, because a lot of people said this is an old technology. The production dates inside this one say December 20, 2018. So this is a couple years old. Apparently this is one of those knockdown technologies that Nike created to basically just go to like the DSW type places and not like your performance-based places. The name of the products is Nike Renew right here, and obviously that branding looks very similar to Nike React, and the material itself actually from a distance look exactly the same, which honestly I don't know why, as I mentioned already, why this wouldn't be like a lawsuit waiting to happen. Kind of confusing the market, thinking you're buying React and you're actually getting this old Renew stuff. But this Renew stuff is actually really not very good. It's not bad, don't get me wrong. It's not like an uncomfortable shoe by any means. It's just an average, like lightweight Phylon type midsole. Nike React is definitely a lot softer and more responsive and a little bit more durable probably in the long term than this old Nike Renew product. So this Nike React stuff, definitely different than what we have here. Anyways, when I looked online and tried to figure out what type of material this was made of, it was honestly really difficult to find out. From some of the sources online, I could just find that said it was Renew technology. One source actually said that this pair of sneakers, the Renew Rival, had dual density foam on it, and I think they were talking about this and this, but this is not the same thing as the new version at all. This is like super firm. Then this is actually really firm as well for the Renew part. A lot of places did mention the holes in the bottom for more of like a lightweight feel. This is where things get interesting because now we have this new Nike Renew Run that looks actually pretty stylish. I mean, it looks kind of like, and as you can see here, a knockdown version of the Infinity React. Even with the swoosh, I mean, look at the way the swoosh placement is. Even like to this section here, it says Nike Renew here, and then this says Nike React on this part of the shoe. But it really looks like just a simpler version of the $150 version of the Infinity React and this $90 version of the Nike Renew. And even the box draws similarities to the Nike React technology with their Nike Renew branding name. And then on the box, it says Nike Renew Run. I went true to size 9.5. And they're $90. So that is kind of confusing. It's like they took the old Renew and then revamped it and made it look more like the React that we know. But then you could see there is a little bit of different color foam on the inside of the shoe, which is where you guys get credit out there for those people that said it does have Lunarlon in it. And this actually does have Lunarlon in the inside of the midsole. But the old version that I had, the original one that I tried, didn't actually have that. So crazy how they call it the same exact thing, but literally everything about the technology is different. It says right on Nike's page, the Nike Renew Run features Nike Lunarlon cushioning that uses a soft, responsive foam to absorb shock and reduce impact. It's combined with a high-density Phylon foam carrier, resulting in stability, support, and soft landing every time your foot hits the pavement. And that literally sounds like Lunarlon to me, like exactly Lunarlon. So I don't know why they didn't just call it like Lunarlon 2.0, Why did they have to go with the Nike Renew branding when you already had Nike Renew branding from 2 years previous? To me, this is like rebooting Spider-Man like 7 times, and the general consumer out there like doesn't even know that there's a different Spider-Man or that there was been a reboot. But to the hardcore fans, like obviously the new Spider-Mans are an MCU like reboot. This in a sense is that same thing. Like they went and pulled an okie dokie on us. It's like they had Nike Renew technology here, but they didn't like the product, but they liked the name. So then they just took Nike Lunarlon and rebranded Nike Renew as Nike Lunarlon. I'm totally confused by I'm totally confused by why they would do this. If you guys have been following along, or if you know more information, then leave a comment and let me know in the comment section, because honestly, I'm just researching as much as I can, trying to figure out what is what. And this shoe specifically just leads me to a dead end. It was like nowhere to be found. It wasn't on Nike's website. It's only available at like Kohl's and DSW and stuff like that. But the new Nike Renew technology is all over Nike's website. I've seen ads on YouTube videos actually even for the new Nike Renew technology, talking about how it's like a beginner's foam for runners and whatnot. So I read to you guys what the Nike Renew technology says in the revamped new Nike Renew runners. But from a historical perspective, I wanted to give you guys a definition of what Nike Lunarlon is. So back in the day, Nike created this Lunarlon material, and it is a combination of lightweight ethanol, vinyl acetate, which is EVA foam. Obviously, we know EVA foam. But it was also paired with a bouncy ball-like spring of nitro rubber, NBR. So it's a combination of the two that make the Lunarlon material. And in it had the perfect mix of foam and air. However, it wasn't good enough just to use on its own. So Lunarlon is basically like a softer version of Nike React. Nike React is a standalone rubber foam compound that is definitely like soft and squishy, but it's also firm enough and durable enough that you can actually use this just as itself, and you don't have to have a carrier foam. With Nike Lunarlon, it was a different story though. You actually had to have a carrier foam with this to add support and durability to the shoe. Otherwise, the Lunarlon would just bottom out and it would probably just be destroyed. The first Lunar Glide actually debuted in 2008 with this dynamic support system, and it's a two-part midsole system developed to provide stability and cushioning. Lunarlon was a perfect soft density foam for cushioned runners' heel impact, which has to be the lime green foam here, while the firmer density foam wedge helped stabilize pronation as the foot flexed downward. So the lighter color here has to be the firmer density foam on it. So Lunarlon had the dual density foam back in the day, and now you have this new version of Nike Lunarlon, the Nike Renew. You can see this orange part right here is actually really, really soft and squishy, which is really similar to the Lunarlon material right here. I mean, it feels exactly the same. Then you have the firmer density foam down here on the bottom, and then you do have a firmer density foam down here on the majority of the shoe. But this actually feels a little bit softer in my opinion. This is just my personal opinion. It might be the exact same thing, to be honest, but it feels softer than the carrier foam on the Lunar Glides, at least in my opinion. So this is actually pretty comfortable stuff. Like, it's not bad. And Lunarlon was one of my favorite technologies from back in the day. So it's crazy that they rebranded it. I do understand why they're marketing this as kind of like a beginner running shoe, because if you really want to have something more lightweight and something more comfortable and more responsive and more cushioning, then you're going to step it up and pay the extra money for this pair here, the Infinity React, because this one is actually really, really good. So this is kind of like the budget-friendly version. I'm personally confused, though, why Nike would go through all this rebranding and stuff. And if you guys have your thoughts, leave them in the comment section. But I find it really hilarious that they rebranded Lunarlon just when I thought Lunarlon was dead. And now they have this Nike Renew stuff, which has been kind of crazy. Anyways, I'm sure a lot of you guys want to know just how comfortable this shoe is, and does it feel like Nike Lunarlon of the past? Does it feel like React? Does it feel like the old Renew even? And it's kind of like a hybrid of everything. I mean, go figure, that's what it is. Technically, you have Lunarlon on the inside of the shoe, as you could see down here, but it doesn't feel like Lunarlon. It feels quite a bit better than this original shoe right here, which is now discounted for like $35 on most places. This one is $90 though, so because of that, obviously it is a bit more expensive, but it does feel like a pretty nice entry-level running shoe. It's not Epic React status. I mean, the Epic React, in my opinion, feels better on feet. And if you're going to go with any of them, the Infinity React is definitely the best on feet. It's squishier in the back section. It's actually really squishy in the front section of the shoe as well. Like, it's actually noticeable. In this one, I didn't notice it in the Epic React as much, but in this one, the forefoot is really, really good. You don't really feel anything crazy in the forefoot on this one. And I'll have to say that this one actually feels more squishy and softer on feet than the Lunarlon does itself. So I don't know if it's just because of the placement, the thickness, the width of the placement of the foams, and just maybe the overall placement of the Lunarlon foam versus the higher density foam. It just feels squishier on feet than the Lunarlon. So It really just goes in this order. This is like probably the worst of the group. This one was my favorite back in the day, but this one's second best here. Then you have the new Renew here, and then you have the Infinity React here. So definitely best, $150 price point. This one's decent, not bad at all for that $90 price point, and then these ones are kind of expired technologies as of now. Interesting to me that they did bring back Lunarlon and kind of revamp it. Personally, I would have liked if they just called it like Lunarlon 2.0 or something where we knew that it was a revamped version of Lunarlon. But maybe, you know, there's business reasons why they didn't want to revive something old. However, they just wanted to recycle the technology. It's not anything new and crazy to think that a company is going to take and mesh together different types of technologies. In fact, Puma has done the same thing with two of their technologies with the Puma hybrids. And ASIC's actually done the same thing with some flight foam and gel in their latest technology as well, which I'll have a video on soon. So personally, it would be kind of interesting to see a hybrid technology of Lunarlon and React. But as I mentioned in a recent video of top 5 outdated Nike technologies, Lunarlon was one of them that I mentioned because the Lunarlon material actually bottoms out over a longer period of time. At least from my experience, that's what I found. Like, these don't feel as good as they did when I first got them. But I think that the React is actually quite a bit better. It doesn't feel like it bottoms out like the Lunarlon did. Maybe I'm biased, maybe it's just me, but it feels better and has more long-term effect than the Lunarlon. And because of that, I was thinking it would be kind of cool to have a dual density React and Lunarlon foam, but we already have a dual density React and Zoom X foam with the Pegasus turbos, so there's no real need for that. Although it would be kind of fun to have a Frankenstein collaboration of like Zoom X, Lunarlon, and React. I mean, I would go crazy for that just because it's like the 3 favorite technologies that Nike has had on the market. But that's kind of my thoughts on the new running sneaker here, the new Nike Renew. Super weird delivery of a new product, but you know, it is what it is. I'm happy to have found out that it actually does contain Lunarlon because I am quite a fan of the Lunarlon technology. And just so you guys can see, this Phylon carrier foam is softer than this Phylon carrier foam here. It's not even the same thing. So it's not a 1-for-1. It's not like they took the old Nike Renew and then just added Lunarlon to it for the new version. It's literally a different density foam as well as the Lunarlon material added to it with the Renew branding. If you guys have seen some of my videos, it's just kind of a pet peeve how they have misrepresentation of branding. Like, especially with like a billion-dollar company like Nike, they should have more unity in the products that they end up having released. Can't complain about the product though. All in all, I actually really like the shoe. Has some nice traction on the bottom, and I like the little hits of the Lunarlon, modernized with the React styling, but done in its own unique way that they called Renew. I feel like I'm just going to call this one Toby. It's just the one that probably shouldn't have been. And welcome, Tom. This is Tom, I guess. Tom and Toby. If I missed anything in the video comparing these things, leave a comment and let me know. But thank you again for stopping by and watching. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, notification bell to be notified of when my videos go live. Have a good rest of the day. We'll see you guys for some more videos hopefully soon. Peace, guys.